G'day comrade subscribers, thanks for hanging around and thanks for joining. So my video on this last night is doing unexpectedly well, comparatively. So I'm coming up to 2,000 subscribers, but that doesn't mean every video gets 2,000 views, I know. Normally probably maybe 200-ish views I get, maybe, so it's about 10% of the number of subscribers, and then of those 10%, about 10% like. So, about say 2,000 subscribers, so you usually get about 200 views and you get about 20 likes. So that seems to be what it roughly is. It's about 10% of the views is likes. And you get occasional dislike. It's like, the heck? Anyway. But that's fine. It would be nice to have 2,000 views. I get that occasionally. But I'm not, doesn't concern me because I jump around a lot. So, for example, I'll do a whole lot of Spectrum videos. So if someone subscribes because they like Spectrum, but then I say post a video on the PPO1, they've got two choices. They can either just not watch the video, just skip it, or they can unsubscribe. And that's what a lot of people did. Well, not a lot of people, but you'd see that especially when I was under 1,000 subscribers, I'm trying to get up to 1,000 because that's when you can monetize. You'd post a video and then you'd lose 3 or 4 subscribers overnight. You'd see it just after you post the video. It was frustrating because it's like, just don't watch the video. This is what I do. I do all sorts of weird and wonderful computers. Anyway. So today I wanted to look at the power supply, but before I did that, I wanted to kind of try and clean up. So this EEPROM board is okay, I guess, because it's been vertical, but I still want to kind of give it a bit of a clean and then cover up all these windows. So I'll do that, and yeah, definitely these ones that were horizontal. So probably just, there's one thing I forgot to mention is, wow, look, coloured. Normally they just use all the same coloured. So I was quite impressed by this colour-coded. But this is actually quite good. So I think this is the RGB, and they actually have colour-coded it. Red, green, blue, and then we've got we've got white and yellow, so one's going to be ground and the other one will be video, composite or sync. But yeah, so give this a bit of a clean. And say I don't really like these these Tesla capacitors, I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's a little bit grimy. So I'll give it a bit of a wash, see if that cleans it up. But yeah, I need to desolder it to get that board off. This one would require more work because it's physically okay. Well, it's got bolts, but still you're going to have to desolder cables to disconnect them from the DINs. So I'm not going to worry about that one yet. The keyboard is going to take a lot of work. So as you can see, there's a lot of this. So I'll probably take the speaker out. So it's glued in. So I'll take the speaker out, take all the keycaps off. And yeah, so that's going to require a lot of work, I think. So I'll put that to the side. But yeah, so today I'll turn that upside down. Today we'll look at the power supply. So I was just taking photos of the cable so I can desolder it and clean the board, but it actually looks like blue they're using for ground. Generally pin 2 is the ground on the DIN, and it does look like, yeah, pin 2 is blue. So, okay, so instead of using blue for blue, they've used blue for ground. Awesome. Right, I'll figure it out. No doubt it's documented somewhere. But yeah, so desolder that and give this a bit of a clean. But certainly these ones are going to require a bit of work. Yes. Just going over it. Sorry, I don't mean to joke around. I need to figure out how to do these handheld shots better. That's the keyboard cable there. That's how they connect header pins together. Right. Oh, and then yeah, Mr. Volkman noticed that one. So it looks like it's maybe connecting two things together, connecting A and B together. You've got A, B, and C. So I think it's just maybe a an option connectivity, perhaps. A and B connected rather than B and C. So that's the reason for the blob. So it's a link, I guess, by the looks of it. Yeah, but yeah, and then the keyboard. That's going to be fun. Hopefully I can improve. I'm looking forward to seeing if it's going to improve. That's got a bit of crud on it, doesn't it? Anyway, it's not about that today. It's about the power supply. Okay, power supply. So Joseph mentioned in the comments in part 1, and I was thinking the same thing. What about the cable from the PMD 85 power supply, which is the PMD 10? And I thought, oh, maybe, but looks like we've got a match. So, yeah, so this is the PMD. I haven't converted the plug yet, so I'm still using converter plug. But, yeah, so this is from the Tesla PMD 10. And it looks like, yeah, okay, we've even got earth on the bottom. Oh, so it's actually grounded. Perfect. There we go. Too easy. So I'll convert that Flexo plug to an Aussie one. Okay. Shall I power it on or shall I pull it? I think, don't know what I can pull apart here. So I've got a screw there, which is for that one. Maybe I should just power it on, see what it does, and then we can pull it apart. Before I power it on, it does look like the yellow there. It looks like that might be some sort of protection capacitor across the phases. So I half expect that to blow up. Well, it looks like just a normal capacitor, isn't it? Or pair of capacitors. Okay, so there is a green LED down there. I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything, but I don't know if it's on already. Power on at the mains. Oh, okay, we've got a green LED. Very high-pitched whine while you can barely hear it. So it could be working. Can't smell anything. Okay, I can see rectifiers down there, two big smoothing capacitors, big transformer in the middle. Looks to be okay. Like I said, you've got the rectifier diodes there, I guess, big smoothing capacitors, transformer by the looks of it. But I'll open it all up anyway. And then you've got the little power LED that's hidden away inside the case. And then the output. So I can try and figure out what the output is. That thing there is a diode. Okay, some what, induction coils or what are they? No, ferrite beads or something? I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Yep. See if I can check the pin out. All right. Not that the pin out really matters, but just to check the voltages, I guess. So let's say DC, DC. Okay, 11.8, so that'll be 12 volts. 12 volts, 11.8. 7 volts, so maybe 5. 17 volts. And 23 volts. Okie dokie. Assuming that's ground. I should actually check on the... That's minus 12. Yeah, so everything's going to be... That's plus 12. Okay. Minus 11.8, so that's... say that's minus 12. That's plus 12. Plus 5. Minus 5. And ground. Okay, so it looks like these two are ground then. Okay, so that looks right then. So I've labelled them 2 and 3. So 2 and 3. One was minus, the first one up in the corner was minus 11. Or minus 12, so that'll be minus 12. Ground. 4 in the corner was plus 12. Plus 5 or plus 515 volts, and that was minus 5 there, wasn't it? Minus 4.8, so it'll be minus 5 volts. Okay, so power supply seems to be working nicely. Minus 12 volts, ground. Well, I can show you now. So minus 12 volts, ground, plus 12 volts, plus 5 volts, minus 5 volts. All good. So it's powered off, unplugged. Safety capacitor looks all right. So it looks like we only have two. Oops, you can't see that, can you? Looks like we've only got 2 screws. So that's the bottom. That's the bottom, which then curves around to the top. Okay, and then is connected in here as well. So it looks like these two, and then that slides off like a U, U-shaped. So I'll do these, and we'll have a closer look. Okay, so of course, 2 different types of screws, of course, just to make it, I really need to pay attention. Anyway, add that to the pile, add that to a separate pile. So this should slide off, I guess, like that. There we go. No fleshy bits on charge capacitors, I'm reminding myself. So a bit of insulation board there. Looks pretty decent. Oh, okay, here we can see. Oh, look at the size of these diodes. Whoa, beefy diodes. Eh? Beefy diodes. Alright, we've got some nice little, so we've got 100 hertz. Okay, I don't know why it's labelled 100 hertz by the looks of it. Plus 5, plus 12, minus 12, minus 5 on the end there. Yeah, well, not much to say. There's nothing's blown up by the looks of it. Nothing smells funny. I quite like this. This looks pretty nice. Okay, I'm just seeing if that's a regulator, but no, it looks like it's just a transistor maybe. Looks like a transistor. Looks like a transistor, yeah. Well, I quite like this power supply. It's massive, but it's very nicely put together, I think. And then yeah, so we've got a pair of capacitors up here being used as what, class X2, I guess, safety capacitors. Yeah, they look okay. Yeah, I'm just checking them out because I'm just used to these safety capacitors blowing up like, you know, reefers. Nice clunky. Oops, sorry, nice clunky switch. Fuse. Yeah, I quite like this power supply. This is really nice, in my humble opinion. A little dusty. I might just blow air on it just to clean it up a bit, perhaps. I'm not going to replace anything. I quite like having the original electrolytics if possible. I know, blah, 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 but, you know, I trust Tesla. So what are these? 350 volt, made in Czechoslovakia. It says 50 plus 50 microfarads. What does that mean? 100 microfarads? Don't know. Yeah, okay. So 2 leads on the bottom and connected on the top here. But yeah, so it's a power supply. I'll leave well enough alone pretty much, I reckon, because it's fine. Just give it a bit of a clean if possible. Interesting how you've got the little power LED buried away in there. We'll have a quick look. We'll have a quick close-up look. So we'll have a closer look. I don't know if this is going to make any difference in there. So, yeah, I quite like this power supply, but I've said that, haven't I? And then we've got the little, so that just says 100 hertz. Then we've got +5, +12, -12, and then that one's -5. It's just very, I just love how neat it is. It's just very nice and neat. And then yeah, a little power LED in there, squeezed in there. Okay, so that was it. Hopefully it didn't drag on too long. Just so, if you're new to my channel, so what traditionally I've done is when I've gotten one of these computers, the first thing I do is pull apart the power supply. That was always a lot of fun on some of the post-Soviet ones. So yeah, pull apart the power supply just to make sure it's all working. Then give the computer a bit of a clean. So actually, let me grab the keyboard. So giving the keyboard a clean will be probably the next video, part 3, pulling it apart, having a closer look at the key switches. See, I don't know. There's not much travel there. See if I can improve it somewhat. As I say, there is a lot of crud on here, so I don't know if that's gotten into the key switches. I don't know if we can. I don't know if I can actually pull them apart. But I do have lubricating spray. I might try. Which way did that go? That was shift, wasn't it? But at the moment, I couldn't imagine trying to touch type on it. So I'll see if we can improve it. I'm not confident about the ROM board or the RAM board. I assume that there's probably homebrew new ones with just a single ROM rather than having 16 1K ROMs. And same with the memory, rather than having 64 kilobit DRAMs, maybe 1 or 2 SRAMs. But we'll see. I'll certainly try and get it powered up. But yeah, so that's it. Let's check the sprays I've got. So I've got 2 sprays that I've got silicone high performance for use on metal, plastic, wood and rubber. Guide rails, pipes, hoists and hinges, belts, bearings, linkages, tools, valves, locks and doors. Or I have dry PTFE, anti-friction. Dry film that resists dirt, dust and oil for use on metal, glass and asterisk plastic. So maybe I'll try one, and you're probably screaming saying, no, not that one, not that one. What's one that I'm likely not going to use much? Well, what's one that's really bad? And so there's not much travel, so I don't really know if that's going to improve much. I should find that one that's really, really stuck, shouldn't I? Spacebar is terrible. Oh, okay, that's stuck on. There we go. Spacebar. Okay, so that's the construction of a key switch, keycap then, like that. So really, if I'm going to do a proper job, I should really pull all these apart like this when I wash them. So I'll give them all a good wash, warm water, warm soapy water. But we'll see. So that's the 2. Oh, okay, that's not going to stay in there now, is it? Probably. Why won't that stay in? That's quite loose now. Anyway, right. Still, this has probably got to be one of the worst space bars. It's got to be. I think it'll work. Just that doesn't stay in there. I think it'll work, but it's just. Oh, just terrible. Just terrible. I thought the Tesla keyboard was bad. That's just fucking terrible. Pardon my language. Ugh. Yeah, so a lot of work, I think. A lot of work. Let's see. We'll get there. We'll get there. Bye for now.